Why can't I get over my ex? How to move on? Separations of any sort can be exhausting and agonizing. In a perfect world, pushing ahead and recuperating from the close-to-home injuries that accompany the termination of a heartfelt friendship would be direct and obvious. Notwithstanding, as a general rule, continuing on from an ex is some of the time a horrifying cycle, and how lengthy it takes to move past a separation relies upon the individual and the particular circumstance. Assuming that you feel adhered and unfit to unwind yourself from the profound bind to your ex, here are probably the most probable reasons you can't move past your ex and why it's requiring a phenomenally lengthy investment to continue on from specific connections. It was Alexander Graham Bell who once said, "When one entryway shuts, another opens. However, we frequently look so lengthy thus remorsefully upon the shut entryway that we don't see the one which has opened for us." Who knew the creator of the phone was so great at offering guidance that can be applied to your dating life? Presently, separating is never truly simple to do. Yet, for some purposes, the method involved with moving past a bombed relationship can wait somewhat longer than for other people, which at times asks the stacked inquiry. For what reason might it at any point be so hard to move past an ex? You're centered exclusively around sure recollections. It's called euphoric review, makes sense of Patrick Wanis, PhD, a human conduct master and creator of Move Past Your Ex at this point. What's more, it alludes to the reviewing of previous occasions or individuals in a positive light while neglecting or disregarding the negative viewpoints. In spite of the fact that it is alluded to as review, it is really a prompt remembering and once again encountering of the positive perspectives, the joy of the previous occasion or individual. Wanis tells mean blood glucose. Wanis makes sense of that this equivalent peculiarity happens in compulsion and is straightforwardly connected with the joy or prize focuses of the cerebrum. Euphoric review is kryptonite to having the option to continue on, says April Davis, proprietor and pioneer behind Luma Luxury Matchmaking. On the off chance that you just recall the great times you shared together, you'll have a truly challenging time pushing ahead. It's memorable's perfect that they're an ex for a clarification, and it will in general be perfect to review the times that were not ideal as well, Davis prompts. You genuinely think the ex was all that you could get? A fundamental explanation certain individuals battle to continue on from their ex's romanticizing. Instructor Cheryl Paul, MA. You glorify your ex, persuading yourself they were your awesome accomplice that no other person will coordinate to. Yet, actually there are many individuals on the planet every individual can be viable with. We truly have many sorts of perfect partners, not which are all intended to be in our lives until the end of time. As per Sherilyn Chong, a groundbreaking mentor who works in separation recuperation, on the off chance that you end up believing that your ex was all that you could get, and you won't ever find somebody after them, you've embraced a proper mentality rather than a development outlook. This is the point at which you've interpreted the relationship as meaning significantly more about you than whatever else Chong makes sense of, and your confidence is basically dependent on your ex. In this attitude, assuming the relationship falls flat, this is on the grounds that you weren't sufficient, and hence, you're not adequate for different connections by the same token. Tragically, make sense of Chong, in the event that you keep having this destined attitude, that is definitively the very thing that you will get throughout everyday life. Nothing is preventing you from tracking down new, maybe far better love, with the exception of your own reckless mentality. You subtly feel that you ought to endure. Assuming you have unsettled pessimistic convictions originating from quite a while ago, whether those come from genuinely juvenile guardians or other ex-accomplices, Chong says you might be caught in the mentality that you have the right to endure and are coincidentally drawing out your own recuperating cycle post-separation. Enduring could really be so recognizable to you that you could try and be dependent on it. Similarly, one becomes dependent on smoking, Chong tells mean blood glucose. What's more, now and again, enduring may be the main thing left from the relationship, and you're anxious about the possibility that assuming you let it go, you will not have anything of the relationship left. At the end of the day, it feels better to feel terrible. You actually follow your ex via online entertainment or keep in touch with them. On the off chance that you actually keep in touch with your ex or potentially follow them via virtual entertainment, it tends to be a consistent sign of what you lost, authorized clinical clinician Roxy Zara B. Psy. D. tells mean blood glucose. All the while, this could increment trust of one day accommodating. Eventually keeping in touch, being in a similar group of friends, as well as following your ex via web-based entertainment can fuel your misery and keep you from continuing on. The no contact rule is the most effective way to continue on. You're actually attempting to figure out what occurred. At the point when you fail to really see the reason why you separated, your brain will go into overdrive attempting to examine, sort out the occasions and proof, and generally speaking keep on ruminating over the separation. Feeling like you comprehend what happened is essential for finally accepting reality, which is important to continuing on. All things considered, Paul adds that occasionally individuals can arrive on a clarification for the separation and afterward become fixated on it, in light of the fact that the vast majority struggle with enduring profound agony. The self-image steps in and goes to fixating on why the separation happened, either pinning everything on your accomplice or yourself, she makes sense of. Neither of these negative mind moves are valuable toward a conclusive goal of a detachment, which is to regret the setback as far as possible and acknowledge anything you can about yourself. In the event that you can't sort out the why, that is all right as well. Not all separations seem okay, and all right here and there individuals follow their sentiments to settle on choices as opposed to utilizing any consistent reason. Permit yourself to acknowledge that you can't change what occurred. Take the illustrations you can from it, and afterward set out to settle the investigating. You lost your character in the relationship. As per Zara B., in the event that you lost your character as well as your emotionally supportive network while in your earlier relationship, it tends to be especially hard to continue on the grounds that you may not know who you are any longer without your ex. Zeroing in on re-establishing your identity during the lamenting system and building a new, solid emotionally supportive network that isn't reliant upon a better half could assist you with moving past your ex and the progressive horrendous sentiments that are tormenting you post-separation. You haven't as expected lamented. At the point when individuals experience a misfortune, there is an inclination to need to stay away from or drive those excruciating sentiments away. However, at last, doing so will drag out the recuperating system, Zara B. tells mean blood glucose. On that note, suffocating your sentiments just stretches how much time it takes to move past a separation, says John Cajal, a psychological wellness and habit master and pioneer behind Capo by the Ocean Recovery in San Juan Capistrano, California. While managing a separation, perhaps of the most well-known way individuals adapt is by suffocating their distresses in liquor or self-sedating in alternate ways, he tells mean blood glucose. It can transform into a pleasing technique for desensitizing out and avoid difficult situations or downfall while the exacerbation of a split is new. Rather than attempting to drive the sentiments away, overwhelming them with liquor, or dishonestly claiming to be fine, both Cajal and Zara B. accentuate the significance of handling and facing post-separation sentiments. Perhaps endeavor a little detox from alcohol, and find a time to permit yourself to feel and deal with the sentiments the division invited on, Cajal proposes. This can accomplish some truly important end and license you to secure some new perspective, which is crucial for the technique associated with progressing forward. Your separation set off old injury. Emmy Crowder, LSW, a specialist at Encourage Directing in Denver, Colorado, noticed that one's own set of experiences is a significant piece of the separation cycle. If you come from a pre-adulthood of abandoning, abuse, or even tendency confounded, especially by one's parents or administrators, you may be set off by the takeoff of a relationship as it raises old sentiments in regards to your most significant connection figures, Crowder tells mean blood glucose. Occasionally the partition itself isn't the thing is bothering someone, it's the importance behind the division and related early memories that request to be tended to. For this situation, Crowder proposes treatment as a powerful method for investigating one's examples of connecting with life partners and how they interface with our earliest connections and encounters. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go.